So today is the last leg of the Triple Crown, which is the Belmont Stakes. And yesterday I went through the daily racing form and made some notes on horses that I plan to pick, not only for the Belmont Stakes, but also for the mandatory pick five. However, due to the racing conditions today, I had to make some last minute changes. So I'll try to not make this a very long video, even though it has to pick five. But here's my analysis of my wager today for the pick five and the Belmont Stakes. So the first leg of the mandatory pick five is race nine, which is the Grade One Jaipur Stakes. And since the track is and this is a turf race, and since the track currently is yielding on the turf, um, I initially had three horses I was going to pick, but I'm going to pick only two. Um, Yesterday, I actually was considering the number three horse, Our Shot, because he's ran really well in Saratoga. But I noted that when the conditions were off track on the turf course, he had not run well. Um, One of the horses that I picked yesterday, and I'm picking today, is number two, Think Big. His last two races has been run on good turf, and he has a 100 buyer speed figure. Other horses I had considered yesterday was number nine, AJ Bullet. This is a 5-year-old mare who's run well against the boys. However, I noted that on a good turf, she hasn't run that well. Um, Another horse, it was Coppola, and and if you look at his last three races on good turf, he also hasn't run well. So on this first leg of the pick five, I'm picking two horses, and the second horse I'm going to pick is Arzak. Last year he ran second in this race, and he ran on a firm turf. His in terms of his off track on the turf, he did win one, um, and when the track was good at Keeneland, and his last race was also a good turf course, but he didn't run that well. But if you notice that was his first race of the year, so I've been thinking this is probably his prep race. Um, for the his last race was a prep race for this Jaipur Stakes. The second leg of the pick five is race 10, which is the Penning Ridge, and this is where a lot of changes were made. Um, because yesterday I was going to pick the favorite Zulu Kingdom because this horse only lost one race in his career. However, because of the conditions, this horse got scratched. Another horse I thought about picking is States' Rights. So because Constitution is like a very versatile stallion, could have produces runners on turf and dirt, but this horse was scratched. Um, One horse I really thought about picking was Flying Mohawk, because of his form on the turf is much better than his on the dirt. But his only dirt race was the Derby, and he didn't run that well. So for this second leg, I'm picking three horses. So two of them I didn't consider, but because of the turf and because of this race here was supposed to be run on the inner turf, has now moved to dirt. That's why horses like Zulu Kingdom was scratched. So the first horse I'm going to use in this second leg is AP Kid. Um, his first race, was on dirt, didn't run so well. He ran on turf his second race and won. But I noted that his sire was Honor AP, and I think Honor AP was a Grade One winner on a slop. So that's why I'm picking him in this second leg of the pick five. The second horse I'm going to pick is going to be Mibago. And if you look at his form, his first race that he ever ran was on dirt and he won. And but he's been running mostly on grass turf races. And with his speed, um, I think that I think this he could be the pace setter. Um, he has a very, let's say, unique pedigree. I think Candy Ride, his grandsire, did really well. He's known to produce horses who run well on the slop. And since this is moving to the dirt track, which is now currently on a sloppy surface, Mibago is the second horse I'm going to use. The third horse I'm going to use, okay, is Noble Confessor. And this horse is a maiden, and I never considered this horse yesterday, but since the race is going to move from the inner turf to the dirt, I decided to take a chance on him, as even though he's a maiden, and the main reason is because of Quality Road. Quality Road is a Grade 1 winner on the dirt, and I'm getting him at 12-1 at the moment. Um, I do anticipate his odds might be lower because of with multiple scratches, but um, given the fact that he's a maiden horse, I am going to roll the dice on picking him in this leg of the pick five. So the third leg of the pick five is race 11, which is the Woody Stevens Stakes. So Woody Stevens in the 80s had a record, I believe, of 5 consecutive Belmont Stakes winners. So this race is a 7 furlong race, and because of the conditions, I really thought about picking number 2, Madacat Road, because his last race he finished second in the Pat Mile Stakes. But this horse only has won once, so I'm taking him off my leg for this the third leg of the pick five. I'm picking 3 horses in this third leg of the pick five, and the first horse I'm going to pick is Macho Music. So Macho Music has won his last 2 races, and I noted that his bias figures is going up. So the fact that this is a sloppy course, he ran the Pat Day Mile on the Kentucky Derby Day on a sloppy track. Same distance, not quite the same distance as one furlong short, but given his form, um, I'm picking him in my pick in this third leg of the pick five. I thought about picking number 4, Patch Adams, and I noted that he loves sprinting, and his last race was on a sloppy track, and you know, I if you look at his figures, he should have been one of the choices, but I kind of look at it and thinking, okay, his 2 stakes races he hasn't done really well. He hasn't run well, and the figures that he's done really well have been either maiden or optional claiming. So he's at the moment 5-1, but I am not using Patch Adams in this leg for the pick five. So as a replacement for Patch Adams, I decided to pick number 7, Colicchio. I underlined his broodmare sire Bernardini, who was a champion broodmare sire, and I noted also his bar speed figures was over 100. He's the only horse that had 100 bar speed figures. But here's the thing that's also intriguing: he's actually won on off-track conditions. So since it's a sloppy turf, and the fact that this horse is the only one with 100 buyer speed figures, I am using him in my on this leg of the pick five. The third horse I'm going to pick in my pick five is going to be Chancer McPatrick. And I noted this form right here. Actually, when he was a 2-year-old prior to his Breeders' Cup Juvenile, he was undefeated. So he tried to stretch it out this year, and it didn't work out. So given the fact that he's undefeated at Saratoga, he may not have run on a sloppy track, but he is undefeated at Saratoga. So I am using him in my leg for the pick five. So the fourth race of the Pick Five is the Manhattan, the race before the Belmont Stakes, and I'm picking three horses here. So the first one is Endlessly. Last year I made a video of the Kentucky Derby, and I actually picked Endlessly to win the Kentucky Derby. And it is will be biased because I am from the Bay Area, and I witnessed him. I watched the race in the El Camino last year at Golden Gate Fields, and he won convincingly. And then he won his next race, which was the Jim Ruby Stakes. And in the Derby, with his pedigree, most thought he should have run in one of the undercards for the Kentucky Derby. I believe was the Turf Classic, but his connections decided to run in the Derby. Um, and yeah, he was a big long shot. And given his pedigree, he could have finished last, but he didn't. He finished ninth. Um, the day before the Derby last year, it was rainy, and then the day of the Derby last year, it was fast. Um, if it was raining last year on Derby Day, I'm not saying this horse would have won. However, I think he would have actually improved. He would have run ninth. I think he could have finished either top five, maybe even top four. Um, and this is going to be a yielding course. And so he hasn't run on a yielding turf course yet. But given the fact that he's 30 to 1, he's 20 to 1. I'm picking him. And then also look at his connections. Michael McCarthy and Umberto Rispoli. They're the same jockey and trainer on journalism. So actually, I'm going to use him um, endlessly also for my daily double for the Manhattan and Belmont. The second horse I'm going to use in this fourth leg of the Pick Five is Spirit of St. Louis. He's going to be the favorite, and I underline Chad Brown because anytime there's a turf course race with Chad Brown, you have to consider it. And I've noted that you look at his form. His last race was on a good surface, and he won. And even in last year at Aqueduct, when it was the turf course was good, this horse won. So yeah, that's why I'm picking him on my fourth leg of the Pick Five. The third horse I'm going to pick in this fourth leg of the Pick Five is number 9, Far Bridge, and this horse won its last two races, and the last race was also on a good turf at Aqueduct. So I noted also too his other good his the second time he ran on a good previously on a good turf course. This horse had finished first and had a 100 buyer speed figure. So yeah, his last two turf course performances, he had a 99 buyer speed figure and 100 buyer speed figures, and that's why I'm picking Farbridge in the fourth leg of the Pick Five. So the last race of the mandatory Pick Five and the main event is the Belmont Stakes. Due to the conditions of the racetrack, which is currently sloppy, and 5 weeks ago it was a sloppy racetrack, I'm going to pick the first three horses of the Kentucky Derby. In fact, when in Derby Day, I did win the exacta box and trifecta box. So I'm going to use the same horses, and due to and I won $788 on the exacta box and trifecta box of the Kentucky Derby, and the fact that it's sloppy as it is today at the Belmont Stakes, as it is in the Kentucky Derby uh, about 5 weeks ago, I'm going to use the same three horses. So the first one is going to be Sovereignty, the winner of the Kentucky Derby. And I noted about Bernardini as his broodmare sire. So this horse is a sort of a come from behind horse, and he didn't run well in Saratoga, but this horse is on to improve. So he's going to be one of my three horses I'm going to pick in the last leg of the Pick Five. The second horse I'm going to pick is Bieza. Last year in the Belmont Stakes, okay, and in terms of when it comes to betting horses on stakes races, I look at a pedigree standpoint. I foolishly did not look at his brother, Dornoch, for the Belmont Stakes because this horse, Bieza, is a full brother to Mage, who won the Kentucky Derby. And then last year, Bieza's full brother, Dornoch, won the Belmont Stakes. I foolishly did not pick him. He was a long shot, and I decided, and my angle in stakes races has always been pedigree, so I didn't use that angle, unfortunately. So he is. I also picked Bieza as part of my trifecta box in the Kentucky Derby 5 weeks ago. So the third horse is going to be Journalism. He was my Kentucky Derby pick horse um, to win, and he also was my Preakness Stakes choice to win. So I'm not going to give up on him. I'm not. I mean, he. If I was going to bet on a Belmont Stakes, just a single, this would be my bet. Um, and so and I mentioned about the daily double with the Manhattan and the Belmont. So I'm gonna single endlessly on the prior on Manhattan, and then add three horses from the Belmont Stakes: Sovereignty, Bieza, and Journalism. So yeah, so this is my insights for the for the Belmont Stakes and the pick five. So the pick five comes to like two horses in the first leg and the three horses in the remaining legs, 4 legs, which equates to 162 combinations. But with the 50 cent pick five, it's $81. So there you go. And I always have a saying when it comes to horse racing, it's true. You bet small to win big. And good luck, everybody, where you are betting at the track. This time last year, I was at the Golden Gate Fields for the second to last day. So, unfortunately, with the closure of Golden Gate Fields, I'm just going to San Mateo, the Jockey Club. So, but yeah, good luck, everybody, on today at the Belmont Stakes Day.